welcome to our first video of 2020.
You think standing on me is going to get you your food? Come on. Do you think standing on me is going to get you your food? Hey? Hey? You got a nice big comb. Happy chickens. Happy chickens. God, filming out here is awful. Because we live right behind the freeway. Yeah, lucky bird. Pluck, pluck. Pluck, pluck. A plucky bird. Yes. This girl got out the run and got herself attacked. This is the second time she's done this and survived. That's why she's earned the name Plucky. Can't keep a good chicken down, huh, Pluck Pluck? Yeah. She's only in here long enough for her wounds to heal up, which they're pretty much starting to just scab up and flake off. And she's got her feathers coming back in, so she'll be going back out with the flock in probably another week. It's looking pretty good. You're looking pretty good, aren't you, Plucky? Aren't you, Plucky? You're a good girl. Stop getting out of the run, okay? Yeah.
Well, I thought it was one.
Bit of a bluster today. So obviously we still have a lot of work to do here. I can take you through and show you exactly what we have to do to it, because there's a lot. It's really great to have just an already built structure, but it certainly wasn't anything that was made to be a finished cabin. Some guy threw this up probably in a span of a couple of weekends, staying as close to a tight budget as he could, probably to keep the missus happy so that he could have a little fishing shack and go fish over at Williams Lake. Now, we're under a time limit, sort of, because as it gets later in the year, we get more and more likely to get more snow. Now, right now, it's still nice and dry, clear, but it's not going to stay that way for very much longer. It's getting down to be January. We're getting a snow prediction heading around about the 8th. That it's going to start snowing and not stop. Now, last year, we were pretty dry up until the end of February, and then it hit us with about 2 feet all at once, and that stayed around straight into March. And it's not going to stop us from doing work inside the cabin, but it is going to make it more difficult to get out here, especially because right now we're living in town still, and it's about a 30-minute drive to get here. We can only get here on weekends, and it just cuts into being able to work on it. That doesn't mean there isn't stuff that we can still do when the snow hits. Let's go check it out. Obviously, one of the first things that needs to get in here is a bathroom. We're not really going to have traditional plumbing because it's an off-grid cabin, we already have a composting toilet that we actually found at Habitat for Humanity Restore. So that was an awesome steal. It was about, $900 toilet that we grabbed for $100. That was awesome. So that's going to go probably in this corner. A mostly RV-sized bathroom that's going to have a small toilet, a small sink, and either a corner or small shower with a basin, so it's not going to be a full-size tub, obviously. Do want to still have a basin for the kids so they can have a bath. Next to it, we're going to have to build some bunks for the kids. Now, there's not a whole ton of space in this cabin, but it's more than enough to be able to build a bunk, kind of a bunk bed situation. Boys will probably share one down below. I'll build it with some drawers in it so we have a little bit more storage. Now, this area will probably be dining area, seating. These, generously calling them stairs. It's really more of a ladder that the guy built. You can tell it wasn't really a great job. It's technically not even screwed into the wall. I don't know if you can see that. It's barely getting it. But it's not great. There's no handrails on that, so we're going to put in an actual set of steps. I don't think it's going to take up too much space. We can just make the treads a little wider. Same angle. That should work perfectly fine. The most important thing, I think, is the handrail. Because going up is fine. Coming down is a little not great, but it's not terrible. Upstairs obviously needs to be finished out. It looks like he mostly got insulation in. We're going to have to probably pull all this board out in order to run conduit for our electricity. I do want to use conduit because I don't know if y'all seen the mouse holes and the mouse poop around, but there's definitely rodents. And of course we have some cats. So they're going to significantly cut down on that, hopefully. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to take precautions to make sure our electricity doesn't get chewed once I spend money to put it in. This situation here, obviously got to do something about it. Now, there's not actually any support structure under here. I just laid this board down so that I could get across to there. But I really don't risk putting my full weight on it because there are no beams supporting this. What we're probably going to do is put in a couple of spans, about 16 inches on center.
There's your mom.
There's my mom. Hi, baby. Not going to fill it in all the way, because when you look at here, it's kind of an itty bitty hole, and that won't leave us a lot of space to get any furniture up. And obviously we're going to need a bigger mattress than this little guy, since there's, two of us. So the idea I had was to make a sort of frame on hinges, put some support structures along here for it to rest on, and that way we can open it up to move larger furniture in and out, like mattresses and dressers. This side will be fixed, so we can walk across. Hopefully the whole structure will be able to support. And then we can, maybe put a couple of dressers over here or a closet, have a little writing desk. Most of our heat, as well as our ability to cook, is going to come from this corner, but not this particular wood stove. It's definitely a functional wood stove. You can tell the guys that were in here had been using it. Didn't exactly clean it out. We're going to get an actual wood cook stove. You can actually find those things online all over Craigslist for a pretty decent price if you're willing to travel far enough and have a vehicle that can actually transport them. So we're not going to get rid of this guy though. What's going to happen is once we take this one out, it's going to go out here to the shed. It's going to get framed in and it's going to become a workshop. And the wood stove is going to be put out there to heat the workshop in the winter, so it's still usable in the winter. Right now, I wouldn't actually cook anything with it or heat the home with it. And the primary reason being that is definitely not installed correctly. There's nowhere near enough support, even if we added stovepipe to it. Obviously that pipe's not in really great shape. You can see here, there's no access hatch to clean it out. So even if we wanted to clean it, we'd be knocking the soot and creosote back down into the oven. Don't want to do that. So I need to go and get a kit and just completely replace that. It's not even a correct, I just use strapping to secure it to the side of that house. And while we're out here, you can definitely see that there needs to be work done on the roof. Whoever built this, I'm not sure what they were doing. I'm really not sure if this box structure is just something they put onto it. It kind of looks like it is. I don't think that's part of the framing coming out. It seems like they just, instead of building fly rafters, they built some kind of, I don't know what you call that. It's like fly rafters in reverse. It's like they didn't really take the time to put in the correct flashing for a gambrel roofing, which is what this particular angle is called. It's that classic barn look, the steep sides that go up and form, 3 different corners on the roof. So that's going to need to be addressed. You can see here, water damage is already starting to wear out that particle board. So that backside might actually need to be replaced. I'll have to double check, because it looks like it's disintegrating though, and that is due to exposure from water and weather and wind and sun. UV is definitely going to be breaking down the glue that keeps all those wood chips together. But we're going to take the tin off, take the board off, probably replace that bit because I don't think it's going to take the tin back once it's been fixed. Actually add on fly rafters, which is that part of the house where the roof extends in an overhang and you will have kind of a thicker structure and underneath is the soffits. So I have to put those on properly. It'll give the roof support all the way out and allow us to encase the whole area in flashing properly, which will protect the underlying board. Actually, I just noticed. I don't think that's even a regular ridge cap. I think he just cut some tin, put a piece of cut tin over there. It's not even a proper ridge cap. Yeah, that will be addressed. Replacing whatever the OSB's been damaged, putting on actual fly rafters, encasing it with the correct flashing, putting in soffits, and making it watertight and into a structure that will actually last. Because even when we're not living in this, we want other people to be able to use it when they come visit us. We'd love for this little cabin to just be something that's passed down in the family. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that we're taking care of the problems early rather than just letting them go. Otherwise, this will become one of those structures you see in a decade that's looking sad and halfway collapsed in the snowbank. Now, it's getting probably too late in the year, especially with the snow about to come. Any day now. Possibly. Maybe. According to the weather it is, but yeah, you never know. Obviously the roof is going to have to wait until spring. Once we have the roof fixed, then we can begin figuring out our electrical situation. We can't do that until the roof is fixed because obviously we're not going to mount solar panels to a roof that we're going to take apart. It'd be a lot of work for nothing. So that's something that's going to have to wait until spring after we get the roof fixed. But there's plenty of that work left to do inside. We can still start on framing for the bathroom, for the bunk beds, getting everything else ready, getting the conduit and set up and installing our outlets and mapping out where we want to put everything so that we actually have it all ready to go before we have the solar actually put in. Ah, look at that sunset. I could live out here and never leave if I got to have a sunset like that every day. That's so pretty. Heck yeah. Hot chocolate by the fire. All right.